On March 15th, 44 BCE, the most powerful man in Rome walked into a meeting he would never walk out of. By the end of that day, Julius Caesar was dead, and the Roman Republic was changed forever. Julius Caesar did not begin his life as a tyrant or a dictator. He rose during one of the most unstable periods in Roman history, when political violence, corruption, and civil war were becoming normal. Rome was still officially a republic, but in reality, power was concentrated among a few elite families who controlled the Senate. Caesar built his reputation through military success. His campaigns in Gaul made him wealthy, famous, and fiercely loyal to his soldiers. Unlike many Roman politicians, Caesar paid his troops well and rewarded them generously. This loyalty would later become one of the Senate's greatest fears. As Caesar's popularity grew, so did his political power. He aligned himself with powerful figures like Pompey and Crassus, forming what historians call the First Triumvirate. This alliance allowed Caesar to bypass traditional political restrictions and advance his career rapidly. However, alliances in Rome were temporary. When Crassus died and Pompey turned against Caesar, Rome moved toward civil war. The Senate ordered Caesar to give up his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Caesar refused. Instead, he crossed the Rubicon River with his legions, an illegal act that openly challenged the authority of the Senate. This decision made Caesar Rome's enemy, but it also made him unstoppable. He defeated Pompey and emerged as the most powerful man in the Roman world. After winning the Civil War, Caesar did not dismantle the Republic openly. Instead, he reshaped it around himself. He accepted the title of dictator, first temporarily, then for longer terms, and finally for life. While the title itself was legal, its permanence was not. To many senators, Caesar represented the end of Roman freedom. Rome had expelled its kings centuries earlier, and the idea of one man holding absolute power was deeply disturbing. Caesar sat on a golden chair, wore purple robes, and allowed statues of himself to be placed among the gods. These actions were symbolic, but symbols mattered deeply in Roman politics. Caesar also reformed laws, expanded the Senate with his supporters, and reduced the power of traditional elites. While these reforms benefited many ordinary Romans, they threatened the influence of the aristocracy. Among those most conflicted was Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus was not only a senator, but a man whose family legacy was tied to the overthrow of kings. He admired Caesar personally, yet believed that allowing Caesar to rule unchecked would destroy the Republic. Conspirators began to convince themselves that killing Caesar was not murder, but a patriotic duty. They believed that by removing one man, they could restore an entire political system. On the morning of March 15th, known as the Ides of March, Caesar ignored multiple warnings. A soothsayer had famously warned him to beware the date. His wife Calpurnia begged him not to attend the Senate meeting after dreaming of his death. For a moment, Caesar hesitated, but pressure from the senators and fear of appearing weak pushed him forward. The meeting took place at the theater of Pompey. As Caesar took his seat, the conspirators surrounded him under the pretense of presenting a petition. Suddenly, one senator grabbed Caesar's toga. Another struck the first blow. Caesar resisted until he saw Brutus among the attackers. According to later sources, it was this moment that broke his will. He stopped fighting and collapsed under a storm of knives. He was stabbed 23 times. The assassination was brutal, public, and chaotic. Blood spilled onto the floor of a building dedicated to Caesar's former rival, a cruel irony of Roman politics. The conspirators believed they would be celebrated as liberators. Instead, Rome fell into confusion. There was no plan for what came next. The Senate did not regain control. The people did not cheer. At Caesar's funeral, Mark Antony delivered a speech that turned public opinion against the assassins. He displayed Caesar's body and described his wounds, igniting rage among the crowd. Riots followed. The conspirators fled Rome. Rather than restoring the Republic, Caesar's death triggered another civil war. His adopted heir, Octavian, eventually defeated his rivals and became Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. In trying to prevent one man from becoming king, the Senate destroyed the Republic entirely. The assassination of Julius Caesar stands as one of history's greatest ironies. It was meant to save Roman freedom, but instead it ended it forever.